What's up, duelists? This weekend is RBET4, really big Edison Tournament 4. Make sure you're joined in the FL Discord below. Signups start on Friday the 29th. A lot of people have been asking about signups. Basically what happens is when you want to sign up for the tournament, you'll type !join in the Discord the day before the tournament. The bot will message you for your deck list. You'll submit a deck list, which you can get from Dueling Book right here. You'll export the deck, and then you'll submit a Dueling Book link to the bot, and then you'll be signed up for the tournament provided your deck is legal. That's pretty much it. Sign-ups start again this Friday, the 29th. The tournament is the 30th and the 31st, so definitely join. Definitely join. It's going to be the biggest Edison tournament probably ever. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be streamed here on the YouTube. If you can't join, definitely subscribe right now before we get into today's video. Okay, on to the video. We got Gravekeepers. I think Gravekeepers is one of those decks that's like, it's scary. I never want to play against it. But every time I play as it, I open like triple Necro Valley Commandant. And I'm just like, well, now I see why this deck sees zero play. This is a list I've been working on a little bit. Instead of maxing out on Royal Tribute, we're actually maxing out on Deck Devastation Virus. We've got 5 targets for Deck Devastation Virus, the 2 Assailant and the 3 Descendant alongside Necro Valley. They get bumped up to 2,000 attacks, so they get to work for this card. This card's very powerful. It helps you deal with kind of the Ryko engines that these, format decks like to play. It's not super great against decks like Hero Beat. It only hits like Honest and Fossil Dyna if they're playing it. It's not great against some decks. Like, it's okay against Blackwings. It hits Blizzard and Kalut and Gale, but it doesn't hit like Sirocco and that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit iffy against some decks. But against the decks it's good against, it's insane. Royal Tribute, of course, you got to play at least 1 in the main. I think 1 is the perfect amount in the main. I had an issue where in my opening hands, I would draw like multiple Royal Tributes. And the second ones are, well, let's just say they have a lot of diminishing returns. They have a lot of diminishing returns. Dex Devastation Virus, you can actually get some equity. Like, if you swing your monster and they have like a removal spell, you can use Deck Devastation Virus to play around that. Deck Devastation Virus can also buy you normal summons. Like if your opponent sets a Ryko, and then on your turn you can use Deck Devastation Virus to clear their onboard Ryko or whatever. You can also do this with like little tricks against stuff like the dupe block and whatnot to make them miss timing, kill stuff like that. And this card is pretty much an auto win against the decks it's good against because it not only takes the cards out of their hand and field, but it takes the cards that they draw for the next 3 turns, unlike Royal Tribute, whereas Royal Tribute just takes the cards in their hand, but they just top deck out of it every single time. So we do have the extra Royal Tributes in the side for decks like Lightsworn and Monarchs, which have high monster counts. And then, of course, we've got some other ones in the side, Light Imprisoning for Lightsworn, which can be a tough matchup. We've also got Book of Moon in the side. Sometimes you just need a generic card to come in over something that's kind of mid. Like, let's say Deck Devastation Virus isn't the best in the matchup. Let's say you're playing against Glads, maybe, and you only want like 1 or 2 deck devs. You can bring in some Book of Moons, which are actually pretty good there. It's just a generic side-in that works pretty well with the deck. We've got 4 extra monsters in the sideboard for the matchups where you don't want Royal Tribute. Thunder King is great against Hero Beat, so is Cyber Dragon, so that's why we have those 3. Fossil Dyna helps you against Frog Monarchs, which is one of the worst matchups for this deck. The Diva Frog decks are pretty bad matchup for this deck. We've got 1 Skill Drain. This helps against the Monarch decks. We've got the Dust Tornadoes, that kind of thing. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It's not like the best deck or anything, but it's not the worst deck either, and maybe we can get some cool showings, some cool wins with this. I might throw in a bonus match at the end with a different deck if this gets too boring, but we'll see. We'll see. Make sure and stick around to the end of the video to catch all the action, of course. Shout out to everyone who watches these videos all the way through. You guys are the goats. I upload pretty long videos because I want to showcase, the full length of what goes into playing a match. We got a match against Benno. Against Benno, I'm going to pick Paper. He also picked Paper. I'm going to switch. I'm going to pick Rock now. I think he's going to pick Scissors. Okay, he did not pick Scissors. That's unfortunate. Going second with this deck is not the best, but I think it's a little bit better going second when you have the deck devs and not the Royal Tributes. The opening hand's actually really solid. We've got Trap Dashu, which is a really good card. We've got Gravekeeper Spy, which is a +1. And then we've got Necro Valley, of course, to shut off the opponent's graveyard strategies. I think Necro Valley is actually in a pretty good spot. There's a lot of... What is it? There's a lot of graveyard stuff. You draw for turn in Edison format. Yeah, speaking of which, look at this. Dark Refer. This is going to send some stuff to the graveyard. Hopefully Necro Valley just closes that graveyard stuff out. If it's like, whoa, Vayu. He might make a turn 1 synchro, which could be bad depending on our situation. If he makes a turn 1 synchro, then it's not the worst. It's not the worst. Okay, sets 2 and passes. That's actually pretty bad for us. Mostly because now our Trap Dust Shoot is dead, and they could have like Space Typhoon for Necro Valley, in which case we are going to suffer. But that being the case, we're going to set some cards, we're going to activate Necro Valley, and we are going to pass. I don't really feel the need to attack over Dark Refer. Yes, they could send Plague, but the best they can do is make a yugioh to attack over the Spy, in which case I'm not too worried. They can't activate Vayu anymore because Necro Valley shuts that off. Cards from the graveyard cannot be banished by a card effect. The way Necro Valley works in Edison format is a little bit different. It doesn't stop non-targeting cards or cards of their own effect. So they can use Plague Spreader, they can use Treeborn Frog, they can use stuff like Rekindling or Red Eyes Darkness Metal, which are non-targeting Reborn effects. Here's Heavy Storm, here's Starlight Road. They might have Royal Oppression for this, but they do. Okay. Well, at least they're losing their 2 back row as well. So it's a 3-for-3 trade, and they're paying 800 life points. So, not the best, but definitely not where I want to be, for sure. They're going to be able to summon an Armor Master. That's pretty good against our set Spy, but Dark Refer itself is kind of weaker. Looks like they are playing Shura. Okay, so we are going to Spy into, I believe, Spy. Yeah, that's the plan. So we're going to lose our Spy, but then we're going to be able to wall out the other 2 monsters. Does he have a Collude on top of this? That's insane. That's insane. All right, well, that's a pretty good draw from the opponent. What can I say? They're playing Dark Refer, Blackwing deck with Elfin the Raven in the main. All right. I think we're dead. We pretty much need to top deck Mirror Force, and even then they can just make Mistworm. So, oh, they're going to go for Go. Never mind. I'll take 1,300. I thought they were going to go for Vayu for sure. Now if we top deck Mirror Force, we're actually all right. It's the only thing we can top deck, though. They're going to Synchro into a second Armor Master. There's no real point in doing that, I don't think. All right, well, Necro Valley gives us maybe an extra turn. Let's activate that. Normal the Descendant. Attack over the Shura. They're going to take 200. And if we top deck a Spy, we're okay. If we top deck a Steel, we're okay. Unfortunately, 2 of our Spies are in the graveyard. But we still have 3-4 top decks that get us out of this situation. Necro Valley wasn't the worst draw. It's still a tough spot to be in, though. We're going to take 3,000 damage this turn, and we need to find something next turn. Gale can run over this Armor Master, but if they have any other monster, then we're good. Okay. D-Prison, that works. That actually works. Because this Gale can activate, target this one. This one was summoned with Vayu, so it can be destroyed by battle. We'll run that over for 50 damage. And then we'll set the D-Prison. And provided the opponent doesn't have like another Shura, then we should be okay here. Even if they have like a Space Typhoon or something. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Blizzy would be interesting. Since Blizzy does target, Necro Valley would prevent its effect. So they'd have to have Blizzy plus like Kalute or something to get over the Gale through our D-Prison. Looks like they don't have another monster to summon here, which is really good for us. We had a very fortunate series of top decks there. That was probably the best. And then the opponent also made, I think, a pretty critical error in synchro summoning. I don't think they needed to do that. All right, we attack for 1,300. And then we are probably going to set the allure. I don't think we need to activate it quite yet. I think we can just pass. If they find Shura, we don't quite die. We take 1,900 if they summon Kalut. Okay, that's lethal damage, unfortunately, if they know what to do. Let's see if he knows what to do. He does. He knows to pump up Sirocco and attack. That's also fine. He's going to attack, and we're going to lose the game. Unfortunately, but that's just going to happen sometimes against this deck. Deck Devastation Virus, I think, is okay, but I don't think we want the full 3. I think we just want, like, 1 or 2. But Royal Oppression's very bad here. So we're going to side those 2 out, and we're going to side in our 2 Book of Moons. I think this card is actually quite good here. They are most definitely playing Black Whirlwind, and Book of Moon is a good way to prevent a Black Whirlwind search and stop a normal summon from an opponent's monster. I do kind of like Thunder King, but I also kind of don't, because they have the Greffer stuff. Royal Tribute can be good. Royal Tribute can be good going first. I'm not sure if it's better or worse than Deck Dev. You could try 1 Royal Tribute going first. I think Fossil Dyna is interesting as long as we can play protect the dude, which we should be able to do. And worst case scenario, we can clear a whole board of the Vayu Synchro Summon monsters. So I think we are going to bring in the Fossil Dyna as well. Possibly over a Rite of Spirit. I think that's one of our worst cards. And then this looks okay. This looks like a solid configuration. The only thing I'm considering maybe is cutting the Gale. So Gale, obviously we saw the last game, was able to get over a Synchro Monster, which is nice. But at the same time, it's so weak, and it's Shura food. So like they can run it over with Shura and get their value immediately back. We have to protect it every single time. I think it's a little bit weaker in this matchup. Maybe it's, you know, okay if we don't have that. We could also cut Sangan maybe, just because it's Shura food. It's kind of hard to tell, because we'd have to bring in Thunder King if we were going to cut one of these monsters. I just need a certain number of threats. We're kind of threat light. Dust Tornado is also not that bad, because it can remove the Black Whirlwind if they have that. So, going first, I think we want Thunder King over Sangan, and I think we do want Dust Tornado maybe over the other Rite of Spirit. And then another Dust Tornado. I don't know. Oh, Starlight Road. I forgot about Icarus Attack. Oh, how could I forget about Icarus Attack? Okay. Let's cut Trap Dust Shoot. I don't love it against Blackwings. They empty their hand. You saw in the last game it was completely dead after turn 1. So we're going to cut that for the Starlight Road. I'm going to try this out. Maybe Dust Tornado, the third Dust Tornado can come in over like Terraforming or something. Let's try that. They're for sure going to be bringing in Nox, so I need to be careful to play around Nox. Maybe I might be setting a Descendant with a Deck Devastation Virus or something to try and play around Nox. Opening hand, not great, but not terrible. We can activate Necro Valley. We can set Commandant. I'm going to set Commandant here, again, to play around Nox. And I am going to set both my back row. If they opened up with Heavy Storm, then they might be scared to play it into a Starlight Road. It says, what is the Edison version of Necro Valley? Non-targeting, it works. Own effects work like Plague, Treeborn. Things can't be banished. Targeting effects stopped. I.e. call Vayu, DD, Crow, etc. That's a pretty good explanation. I hope that suffices for this match, so the opponent knows what's up. They're going to be trying to play through our position here. 2,000 defense is actually pretty big against most decks. Probably has a lot of copies of Dust Tornado. It's another reason to bring in our Dust Tornadoes to try and snipe theirs. If we're lucky. Okay, here is Sirocco. I am going to bottomless that. I don't want them to have a live Icarus attack at any point. So we're going to keep that out of play. Even though Sirocco can't get over this, they could do something like Special Abora, and then we'd be in kind of a tight spot because they could pump their card. I'm going to M-Phase Dust Tornado their new back row. It was a deck devastation virus. That would actually be pretty good against us in some cases, but not in this one. I'm going to flip summon the Gravekeepers Commandant, and I'm going to attack for 2100. I'm going to set both the Allure of Darkness and the Starlight Road. This is to sort of tease the opponent into heavy storming us if they find that, and then also to secure that my Starlight Road doesn't get randomly sniped by a Space Typhoon. That's my goal here. Gravekeeper's Commandant is pretty strong. 2100 is a solid effect, but if they have Space Typhoon for the Necro Valley and they read that both of our back rows are bluffs, they can summon just about anything and run this over. So our position is not really as secure as I would like. This is kind of tricky, no cap. And this is what I was talking about in the opening. Sometimes, or not opening, in the intro. Sometimes you just have Commandant double Necro Valley and your hand looks like this. Like your hand just does nothing. And that's kind of what's happening here, as you can see. And you can't really afford to cut the Commandants. You can't really afford to cut the Necro Valleys because it's the whole point of the deck. But you see what's happening. You see what's happening right now. Cyber Dragon getting specialed is okay. That's going to be able to trade with the Commandant. And then if they have anything else, like any other Blackwing monster, here's Black Whirlwind. How unfortunate they were able to find that. Okay, Kalut's going to be able to search them a Gale. And we're just fucked. Like, we just lose. We just fucking lose. And it's not like we drew bad cards, right? Like, all of these cards are necessary for our deck. But, yeah, we're just going to fucking lose this one. And that's gonna be that, unfortunately. They might not play into Mirror Force, but I don't see why they wouldn't. Really, realistically. We don't really have that many great top decks that get us out of this situation either, which is fucking unfortunate. They would have to start off with like a dark monster that we could allure away and then make something happen like that. They might synchro into Stardust here too, which would be very bad for us because that will be able to negate Starlight Road or a top deck Mirror Force or anything like that. Them having Black Whirlwind, fucking annoying as shit. That means any monster they top deck is just going to like cascade into advantage against us, which we can't really afford to deal with. Yep, there's the Stardust. That is the play they should be making. Stardust is going to be able to summon itself back. Colossal Fighter would not because it has to target the card. This is going to be 350 points of damage. And then they might not... Okay, they're going to attack with Stardust. They said, fuck it, if you have D-Prison, I'm going to -2 into D-Prison. Or -1 into D-Prison, but... Guess they just called our bluff. There's a Spy. That's actually a really decent draw. I think we, unfortunately, have to set it. It's either that or we allure it away. If they have Knock right now, I'm going to feel like an idiot setting this. They might actually have Kalut. In which case, it's better to allure. I'm going to allure. It's a very questionable play, but it honestly ended up working out for us. We can Assailant over the Kalut, but then we don't have anything for the Stardust Dragon. So I think we have to banish the Assailant, and then I think we have to Upstart Goblin now to try and find something for the Stardust Dragon. Fortunately, we didn't really. Hopefully the Spy is enough defense for us. Hopefully. Most likely won't be, but hopefully. Yeah, there's the Knock. Alright, I'm just going to defeat. GG's. GG's. I kind of knew they had it, but, like, what can you do? We didn't find D-Prison. We didn't find our outs to Stardust Dragon. And the opponent had everything they needed to play through our anemic start with multiple Necro Valleys and Gravekeepers Commandant. I'm going to get one more game with this deck before switching over to something else. Because, I don't know, I get a lot of requests for this deck. I mean, more than I honestly should. And I think this deck is actually really, really mediocre. I think it's like one of the worst good decks, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, this deck is technically viable, but it is so much worse than like all the other like little like more proactive strategies you're gonna be playing. Like even something like Flamvel, where you're like drawing multiple magicians. At least your bricks in that are like normal summon tuners. You know what I mean? Whereas in this deck, my bricks is like multiple Necro Valleys. That card on its own does nothing, and then the second copy does even less than nothing. So you saw how well it went that game. You saw how well it went that game. Good luck, have fun to our opponent. We are going to get to go first. Hopefully we'll be able to resolve a deck devastation virus or a royal tribute in this game. But even if we do, there's no guarantee that our deck is actually going to be kind to us. Nice. Okay, so it looks like we are going to be able to do that. I'm going to set deck dev, and I'm going to activate Necro Valley, and then I'm going to activate royal tribute right now. So I'm going to show him my hand, which is 2 upstarts and a lure. They have Magic Drain, Trap Dust Shoot, Miracle Fusion, and Hero Blast. Necro Valley is going to stop 2 of those cards. So Hero Blast, Miracle, Drain, Dust Shoot. And then Dust Shoot is dead, and then I'm going to show them our hand of Upstart, Upstart, Allure. I'm going to proceed to activate these upstarts. We find Rite of Spirit. It's kind of a good card to have. We're going to upstart again. Find Deprison. That's also another good card to have. I am just going to set the Deprison and I believe pass. I'll set the Rite of Spirit. These decks don't normally main deck Heavy Storm. So they don't really have a lot of plays. They can Magic Drain our Allure of Darkness, which, fine. Okay. That's cool. I set the Deprison because if they find an alias, I would like to deprison it right away before they have a chance to find Spark. There's Gravekeepers Descendants. I am going to try an Allure. I think finding a Spy would just be better. If they want to, they can Magic Drain this. They're not going to. Cool. Wow. My God. Dude, come on. Alright, well, we might as well activate the Terraforming because it's not going to get much better than this. Thankfully, we hit their Captain Gold, because in this format, field spells do overlap onto other field spells. So, I got a fucking full house here. God damn. Alright. More back row from the opponent. Another Upstart Goblin from us. Let's see if it finds a Commandant. That'd be funny. That'd be really, really funny, actually. Let's see. Draw for turn. Not for turn, for Upstart. Descendant. Okay, Descendant is better. Descendant is better. And the reason Descendant is better is because we have Deck Dev plus Right. So I'm going to normal summon this little guy. If they have a bottomless or something, I'm going to chain Deck Dev. And that at least gets him in the graveyard. Alright. Nothing. We'll just attack for 2,000. 500 more because of Necro Valley. And then we pass. Hopefully this guy just gets us there. This deck is kind of monster light. There's a Cyber Dragon that's going to get deprisoned. 2100 is too large for us. Too large. We know they have Magic Drain, Hero Blast, and Trap Dust Shoot set. That's a good draw. That's a really good draw. We're going to go ahead and swing for 2,000 again. Got to be careful of Torrential Tribute, of course, but we'll set the Spy. We will set the Spy. A lot of pressure. Getting to the point where Dust Shoot will be live. Do we care? Oh, fuck. Accidental Zoom! God damn it. Okay, God, fucking. Okay. We're good. Fuck it. Let's activate the Spy. Let's activate it. Nice. Concession from the opponent. Love to see it. Okay, against this deck, I do like the Thunder King quite a bit. I don't like deck devs. I think the deck devs don't do enough. I think we need the Thunder King. I think we don't really like Royal Tribute either, but kind of have to have it. I think Thunder King is for sure good. I think Dust Tornado is for sure good. So we're going to bring in those cards. I think Royal Oppression is pretty mediocre. It does stop Cyber Dragon, which is kind of nice, but so does everything else in our deck, so I'd rather not have it, and then I'd rather be able to flip my spies. I do like having the third Dust Tornado. I think having just maximum back removal against this deck is good. Book of Moon is pretty good. Book of Moon is pretty good with Spy. It's a combo. We could also board in our Cyber Dragons, which I like. So these 4 cards can definitely come in. I think I am going to side out the Royal Tribute. Going second, it's not very good. They can just hold the E-Calls in their hand, preserve it that way. I'm going to cut the Terraforming. It's not super important that we have a turn 1 Necro Valley. And I am going to cut probably 1 Commandant for the same reasons. Commandant is... well, maybe he's alright. I mean, he's just a guy, you know, for the steal. Maybe it's alright to keep the Commandants. Maybe it's time to cut Upstart Goblins. Life points could matter in this matchup. Starlight Road is another card that I don't think has a lot of application in this matchup. So maybe that comes out for one of these other cards as well. No, I'll leave in an Upstart Goblin over the Starlight Road. I think that's a little bit more consistent. Let's try something like this. This looks like we should have a favorable matchup. Necro Valley is going to shut off their Hero Blast, their Miracle Fusions, and that sort of thing. Elemental Hero Ocean. And then our other cards are going to trade favorably with their monsters, ideally. Gravekeeper Spy does a great job walling out this deck. Most of their monsters are weaker than 2,000, so they can't really get over it without spending something like, you know, Royal Tribute, or not Royal Tribute, Gemini Spark. They're going to search for Skyscraper. They should hold that because of the way field spells work in this format. It looks like they're going to. Lucky for us, we found a steal, which is very nice. I think I'm going to activate Commandant first and go find Necro Valley. I do want to prompt them to activate the Skyscraper, but it's going to be a little difficult to do that. Let's Upstart Goblin first just to see what our full hand is going to be. Descendant, okay. So with Descendant, we could attack over Stratos straight up, which I think is a pretty good play. And then we could set Deep Prison as well. But that could walk us into something like a bottomless trap hole. I'm just going to activate Necro Valley, set the Deep Prison, set the Gravekeeper Spy, and pass. There's a chance their turn is like activate Skyscraper, activate Knock, attack us for a bunch. But even in that case, we have another Spy. So there's the Alias. That's okay. Here is the Skyscraper potentially. No, just more back row. A lot more back row. Okay. That's fine. Let's just keep turtling up. Let's set another Spy and pass. They have less cards in deck than us, so they're going to have to act eventually. Sets another back row, completely locking up their back row. I could try playing into a Torrential or something like that, but I don't really see the need. I guess we have Steel. You know what? Fuck it. Let's try. Let's try. Let's normal summon Descendant. See if they have an out to this. Battle phase. I will try to attack over Stratos. If they have a Space Typhoon, they 2-for-1 us, which is annoying. But looks like that's just gonna happen. Alright, cool. Nice. Stratos gets removed. Here they can Skyscraper and attack over the Descendant. That is something they can do if they want to. They're going to set a field spell. I don't know if that destroys ours. I don't think it does. I think they have to activate it to destroy ours. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I need to check. I think you might need to activate it, but I could be wrong. Let me check. Field spell rulings, Yu-Gi-Oh! 2010. Alright, what do we got? When did the field spell rule change? Field spell cards. Let's see if we can find this. I don't fucking know this ruling. Alright, either way, it's like, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. If they're going to activate it either way, it doesn't really matter. Alright, they're going to attack the Descendant. I'm going to proc the Gemini Spark now. I'm just going to say if you have Gemini Spark, you have it. They do not. Their alias is banished. That means no things for them. Alright, let's flip a spy. Let's try to activate this effect. We're going to play into Torrential. Bucket. They have Royal Oppression. So they have Royal Oppression against us. Good to know. Alright. We can summon Descendants and pop one of their back rows. I think we steal first. No, maybe we don't. Maybe we summon Descendant, try to pop first. But it's just like a blind pop, right? Let's just steal and go get a Necro Valley. See if they want to counter this. Oh, they're going to Magic Drain it? I'm going to discard Book of Moon. Losing Book of Moon does suck, because that was our only piece of interaction. But as long as this Necro Valley resolves through another copy of Magic Drain, then we should be okay. I think first things first is I do want to summon Descendant and try to pop some back rows. So we're going to summon Descendant, go priority. I'm going to declare this guy, sack him, pop this one. They're going to chain Skill Drain. Alright, so they have Skill Drain Oppression, which is totally fine. I think I just want to attack. I don't know if I want to activate Necro Valley yet. I think you know what, fuck it. What are the chances they have another counter trap? Pretty high probably, right? If you're playing Magic Drain, you gotta be playing like other counter traps first, right? They might be thinking if they want to Solemn or Dark Bribe this. Either way, we're down 2 Necro Valleys, potentially. It's going to destroy their Skyscraper. We attack directly for 2,000. And then we pass. Unfortunately, this guy can't sack face down Gravekeepers monsters. Next turn, we can maybe normal summon the Spy. Nah, there's no reason to do that. They're going to e-call here. What does this get? Do they have a second Captain Gold? That's the real question. No, they just have Alias. Alright, that represents a few different things. Honest, most notably. Let's force it. Let's just force the issue. Yep, battle step is okay. Damage calc is okay. They've got honest. We take 1900. Kind of knew that was going to happen. Here we'll set the other spy and we'll set Solemn Judgment and pass. They have less cards in deck than us, so they need to do something, you know? And eventually we're just going to find enough trap cards to where their something isn't going to matter. We'll just keep passing. Got to keep in mind our cards in deck. Got to keep in mind that they can Dark Bribe us as well. I don't know if they're playing Dark Bribe alongside Magic Drain, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. There's a Book of Moon. I'm going to keep that in my hand because of Magic Drain specifically. Just because that's something that he is playing. We might want to save that for that moment. There's a Dust Tornado. That's actually pretty good. We can maybe initiate a sequence where we flip a spy. They Royal Oppression. We chain Dust. They chain their trap card, and then we Solemn Judgment that, and we pull vastly ahead. There's a Gravekeepers Assailant, which is actually kind of nice too. Huh. I think we'll just try to Assailant attack. And then we can maybe dust the Skill Drain, actually. Either that or we could like further set cards. We don't need to play into a torrential like that. We can just keep passing actually. This is fine. This is fine. They locked up their own back row. They're gonna deck out. We'll just keep passing. Don't want to activate a lure again. We want to stay at a higher deck count than the opponent. Another Necro Valley, that's a good draw. That means even if they out this one, we'll be able to use our next one. There's Gemini Spark number 1. Okay, what's this going to target? Our set monster, set Gravekeeper Spy. I think that's fine. I think we have enough monster cards where that's not that big of a deal. This also puts them one card lower in deck, which I'm pretty happy about. Here's another alias. That's a-okay. Not really pressed by this. Here's another Gemini Spark. What is this going to target? Our other set monster. Shit. We have one more steel. We have one more spy. I kind of find this to be quite important. So I'm going to Solemn. The Gemini Spark. Cool. They're going to set a back row and pass. We're just going to keep going. Oh, they're going to dust shoot us. Thank you. That puts a card in our deck. Makes it harder for the opponent to deck us out. I wonder what they pick here. If we get enough cards in our deck, we can actually maybe even activate this allure, which would be cool. Assailant to deck. Okay. That's fine. Didn't take Sangan. Alright, well let's try to poke with Sangan. Put their life points a little lower. They're going to take 1,000. We could set the Book of Moon now. I think we're going to. I think we're going to set the Book of Moon now and pass. There's Elemental Hero Ocean. You know what? That's fine. Take 500, activate Sangan, go get ourselves the last Gravekeeper Spy. So in case they do have knock, they can't get over our defenders. Bottomless Trap Hole is a good draw too. I'm going to try to run over the Ocean with Thunder King. They might be waiting for a turn to Space Typhoon the Necro Valley and then Miracle Fusion to get around our cards, which would be very annoying. Either way, I think we're going to try to Thunder King attack over the Elemental Hero Ocean. Mirror Force. Sure. I'll set Bottomless and pass. If he has Heavy Storm, then he got us good. E-Call for Stratos. No, Stratos is in the grave. Grabs the last Ocean. Ocean goes to defense. I don't know what the opponent is drawing towards, honestly. Ocean to defense means our Gale can attack over it, so I am going to try and do that. Gale will attack the Ocean, and we can pass. If they attack us with another Ocean, I will... Actually, if they summon this, I will actually try to Bottomless this. Yeah. That's pretty good for us. Ooh, another Bottomless. That's also very good for us. Let's attack. Fuck it. If they have a deep prison or whatever, they'll use it here. And that's totally fine. Our Gale got the value. Traded 1-for-1 with a monster. Dueling Book is lagging a little bit here, but I think we're actually in a decent spot. Oh, I should have set the other spy maybe. The only reason I'm holding it is because If they do manage to stick an absolute 0 somehow, then it could get pretty bad for us. If they play Torrential Tribute too, it's better to have this. I'm actually going to use my book here to try and set this. It's another 2000 defender they can't really get over. Plus next turn it can become a threat. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Rite of Spirit is really good. Once we get them low enough, we can actually start using Rite of Spirit and stuff. Oh, they're going to bottomless here. Okay, that's fine. Set the Rite of Spirit and pass turn. We can also use Rite of Spirit to dodge something like Torrential Tribute. That kind of stuff. It can put a Gravekeeper Spy in defense at instant speed or whatever. Mirror Force, that's kind of good too. I don't think we need to set that one quite yet. Opponent's really low on monsters. I think this set card might be something infertile, for lack of a better word. This one is probably a real card. Let's just pass. I think we're chilling. Opponent does have significantly less cards in deck than us, so they have to play the game. Back row is now locked. Ooh, there's another Rite of Spirit. I'm actually going to use this Rite of Spirit to try and press. No, not quite yet. I want to do it chain link 2. So I might dust one of their back rows and then chain link 2 Rite of Spirit to play around Torrential Tribute. And I might do that on the end phase of their turn to just like force them into a different position. They're going to set a monster. Okay. So end phase here, I'm going to Dust Tornado. I think I want to hit Skill Drain. But I could be wrong. I'm trying to think of their monster effects that could fuck us over. I think it's best to hit Skill Drain and then say, okay. And then, yeah, that's fine then. And then we'll set this. I forgot we can't Rite of Spirit into Royal Oppression. Do we want to set this one right now? I don't think so. I think that's fine. There's another Dust Tornado. Okay, cool. That's good, that's good, that's good. Now we can Dust Royal Oppression and then Rite of Spirit. If they have another Royal Oppression, it will force it at the very least. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have hit Skill Drain. I should have hit Royal Oppression, but that's fine. Now we pass. Another reason not to hit Skill Drain is because Gravekeeper Spy is mandatory, and that would take another card out of our deck. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, I'm going to activate Rite of Spirit. Let's see if they chain. We're going to chain Dust Tornado, target Royal Oppression. Hopefully this keeps us alive. I think we might be dead. If they have Double Miracle, we do die. They were drawing to Heavy Storm, damn. I think I might have misplayed dusting the Skill Drain. That was a little bit too preemptive. Oh, Spy. Yeah. They did have Torrential. They had another Skill Drain. Okay, we are going to lose our stuff. They have Solemn Judgment. I think we're dead to Double Miracle. Flips Honest, bounces it. Miracle 1. No, Cyber Dragon. Miracle. And a normal summon is pretty good. It's not quite enough to beat us, but it is pretty good. Oh, that works. Okay, cool. Cool. Nice. That was tough. Now that I know they have Heavy Storm, I do actually want the Starlight Roads. And I need to prioritize dusting Royal Oppression so that our Starlight Roads can resolve. That's a big one for us. Also, they didn't attack into set monsters, so Dinah actually has some applications. Tricky game. All right, we're going to side out Trap Dust Shoot. We're going to bring in instead, I think, the Starlight Road, and we're going to side out a Cyber Dragon. Bring in the Starlight Roads. I'm not sure if this is correct. Deck Dev can hit Ocean as well, but we don't have a way to banish Ocean once it's in the graveyard. And we don't have a great way of dealing with Miracle Fusion in hand outside of like Royal Oppression, but Royal Oppression makes us susceptible to Heavy Storm, which is going to get us one way or another if we play the long game. So I think we needed to play that game a little bit more aggressively, like with the Dust Tornado once we found it, and with our monsters. Like I probably needed to be attacking with the Spies. I didn't realize they had Heavy Storm for inevitability, so this game's going to need to be a little different. We're going to set Spy, set Book, I believe. You know, we could set Right and activate Commandant. So let's activate Commandant. Go get Necro Valley. This is maybe not the best way to use our Necro Valley, but at least it will force the first Captain Gold right away. And then we'll set to... If they have Heavy Storm now, they could use it. There's Cyber Dragon. That's okay. Here is the field spell. That's going to kill our field spell, unfortunately. They're going to set 2, and they are going to attack. I need to decide if I want to book this Cyber Dragon now. I think because I'm going to have to book it anyway, I am going to book it now. Main phase 2 E-Call. Okay, that's confined Stratos or Alias. Okay, there's the Stratos. That's fine. It's annoyingly strong, but we can still get over both monsters, I think. No, we can only get over one. Oh, that's big, actually. It's a big draw. So we're going to priority pop with Descendant, right? That's the play. Maybe not. Let's just flip this into the back row. They're going to chain Skill Drain. All right. Pretty good. What have we got for them? We've got Necro Valley to destroy the Skyscraper. At this point in time, I think it would be good to use all of our resources if possible. So we're going to write, bring back the Commandant. We're going to normal Gale. We're going to go to the battle phase, attack the set monster, attack over that guy, and then attack directly for 1300. For 1300 directly. And then main phase 2, we can elect to make Armor Master, or we could make Ancient Fairy Dragon in defense as well. I think Ancient Fairy Dragon is a little bit of a liability, whereas Armor Master is a little bit more resilient, especially if the skill drain gets removed. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to synchro into Armor Master and then pass. This is the most threatening presence, I think. Also, if the opponent has their second Cyber Dragon, we'll still be able to get over it with the Armor Master. If they have Cyber Dragon Honest, it's awkward. We know they have 2 hero monsters in hand. They have Alias and they have Captain Gold. Captain Gold can trade with the Commandant, but that turns on our steel, which makes me very happy. They're going to set another back row. I am going to attack first. We don't need to attack with 2 monsters into Mirror Force. They're going to deprison. Okay. Then I'm going to steal, add back the 2 monsters. I'm going to probably set Spy, set deprison, and then pass. Skill drain doing some amount of work, but not as much as the opponent maybe would like. There's a set monster from the opponent and a set back row. Huh. Descendant's a pretty good draw. I'm going to hold the Commandant because he can find us the last copy of Necro Valley if we need it. So I'm going to normal summon Descendant and try to attack the set monster. Nice. Okay. So we know the last card in hand is Alias and the set card is Unknown. This matchup is truly interesting. Rite of Spirit is a good draw. We're not going to play further into Torrential. We can just keep up the pressure like this. 2,000 a turn is big damage. They need to find something. We're going to set Rite of Spirit and pass. Heavy Storm is okay for them, but then our Spy is live. So there's the Alias. That's okay. We are going to, I think, just attack it. Like, maybe they have Honest, maybe they don't. I think we just attack it. They don't have Honest, so they're just bleeding card advantage at this point. I'm going to take 100. 100. Yes. Cool. Okay. What is their last back row? What is that card? Maybe it's a Magic Train. I'm going to continue to pass. I'm going to continue to pass. They must have multiple Alias. That's why they were okay summoning one. Okay, they're going to set a monster here. Okay, now I'm going to get aggressive. I'm going to normal summon Gravekeepers Spy. And then I'm going to attack with the Spy. If it's Honest, then we're going to take some damage. It was Morphing Jar. Kind of an awkward one to have alongside Skill Drain, in my opinion. And then at this point, we can hold the Mirror Force. One of the only ways they're coming back is Heavy Storm, so we're going to hold the Mirror Force. Deprison is enough. They can only summon once per turn, unless you factor in Miracle Fusion, in which case Mirror Force will clear it up. Okay, there's the Heavy Storm. That is okay. Again, like I said, this is one of the only ways they can come back into this game. But they have to somehow play through all of this. They have to attack over the Descendants. We're going to take 400. But it might be too little too late. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I think we just launch the Spy into the back row. Activate. Go get Descendant. Descendant priority pop the Alias, and then we can normal summon Commandant for game. I believe is the play. Descendant's going to come out of the deck. Priority. Pop the Alias. And then we'll also pop the other back row. Thankfully, Descendant is not once per turn. They're going to chain Hero Blast, but that does not matter. We have Commandant for the last few points of damage. That was a tricky one. That was a tricky match. I think we had the edge game 3 for sure the whole way through. GG's. Yeah. I think we had the edge all the way through. I think they were trying to floodgate us out on a lot of different levels, but ultimately it didn't work out too well for them. The Heavy Storm game plan worked when we were playing kind of passively. I've been going like 2-10 with it. I would try something else at this point. Yeah, So we kind of adapted our game plan for their Heavy Storm game plan. I was like, I was thinking we could get more aggressive with our deck and play more offensively with our monsters, pressure him under Necro Valley, force him to have the outs, that kind of stuff. But I think in general, he could have also adapted his game plan to be more like spot removal focused and then sided out some of the floodgates. Like he must have noticed in the previous game that skill drain didn't do all that much. Maybe could have sided one of those out, sided out one of the Royal Oppression, something like that. Those cards, you know, once I notice that you're using them against me, I can like adapt this strategy to play around it a little bit more. It's not like we did too much to adapt differently. We just played a little bit more aggressively with our cards, which we probably should have done in Game 2 as well. And that matchup feels kind of favored because they have to have outs to Necro Valley and stuff, but they can't really out everything. I don't know if I like this deck. I want to keep playing it for the video, but I'm having a bad time. I'm going to be real with you guys. And I wouldn't recommend playing this deck if you think it's going to be a good time. Because it's kind of boring, you know? I'm not really doing anything too crazy. I'm just summoning my monster and hoping that they don't have an out to Necro Valley and that we lock up a certain number of their cards. Maybe I get one more and then I switch decks. Maybe I get one more and then I switch and play a different deck for you guys. I'm going to see if this deck devastation stuff is worth experimenting with, or if I'm just on crack and should just be playing the Royal Tributes. Max Storm 15. Good luck, have fun. I'm going to pick paper. They pick scissors. Unfortunate, we are going second. Appreciate that. Smiley face. Okay. Opening hands. No live deck dev or Royal Tribute quite yet. But if we find Necro Valley, we could have a live deck dev, which would be very good. And we play 7 copies of Necro Valley, so there's a good chance that we'll see one right now, off the top. Good chance. Let me see a good chance. One time, good chance for the fans. Unfortunate. All right, we're going to set 3, and I'm going to normal summon Descendant and try to attack for 1500. If they have main deck Malevolent Catastrophe, I'm going to look like a fool. Kappa. All right, they do not. We're going to pass. Opponent draws a card, and that's going to be a Gale. Okay. That's totally chill. I think we are going to deprison this Gale. I don't like Gale. It's annoying. It's hard to remove from play. Looks like they are cool with that. We found Gravekeepers Assailant. All right. Another kind of interesting card to have. We're going to normal summon Descendant, and we're going to attack with both. They didn't stop the first Descendant attack. I'm fairly certain they're not going to stop this one as well. They're going to take 750 and then another 1500. And now I'm going to use this Descendant to pop their back row. It was Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice with Gale. Mystic Tomato deck, maybe? Maybe it's Gale in the Plant Synchro deck. That'd be kind of crazy. Very interesting. I could have summoned Gale and made Armor Master to make the deck dev live. Oh, that's got to get solemned. That's dangerous. Yeah, that cannot exist. Looks like it's Flamvel. That can be a pretty tough matchup. For sure. All right, Upstart Goblin. Going to try and find us Necro Valley yet again. Kind of crazy. We play 7 copies and never mind. I was going to say 10 cards in, we don't find one, but looks like we are fortunate enough. Pitch the Commandant, go get Necro Valley. I'm going to activate it, and I might priority activate Descendant using the Assailant to launch at one of these back rows. I might save the Assailant. Assailant can get over some cards. Let's just attack. Let's just attack. If they have Mirror Force, they might be forced to use it. Looks like they're not going to. We're just going to pass. Okay, they have 4 cards in hand. No reason to deck dev them quite yet. There's Instant Fusion. They're going to pay 1,000. That's okay. See what this summons. Dark Fire Dragon. Alright. They're going to normal summon Deep Sea Diva. Alright. I think I deck dev now. Yeah, I think we deck dev now, for sure. Royal Decree! Fuck yeah, that's... Main deck Royal Decree. That's super cool. That's chill. Alright. Crazy. What can you do? What can you do? Yugioh Guardian. We're going to take 3,000 damage. Alright. That's a misplay to synchro here. Unless you're making Red Dragon. Colossal, that's weaker than your board you just had. Because there's only one. So there's that. But this is, you know, still hard for us to kill without a trap card. Because we don't have trap cards anymore. Alright, Gravekeepers Spy. That is the start to something that can kill this. Alright, alright. Maybe I should have popped that with Descendant. Chaos End Master. Alright. That's going to attack this. This is going to activate. We're going to go get a Descendant. If they have Honest, then we just fucking lose. So, there's that. Thankfully, it looks like they do not have it, which is great for us. There's another deck dev, too. Alright. We do have to pop Colossal Fighter. You know what? I just misplayed. I should have attacked over this with the Assailant to play around Honest. But if they have Honest, like, they would have attacked over Descendant and gone for game, so I don't think they have it. We are going to set the deck dev. At some point, we can Arcanite pop their back row. Looks like they're playing some sort of like assault mode deck. Here's Oracle of the Sun. That's fine. Do they have another way to make a synchro, or is it just a defensive Oracle? Okay, it's just a defensive Oracle. That's totally chill, actually. Because we can Gale have that. So we're going to do that. Have the Oracle. Battle phase. Gale attacks over the Oracle. Book of Moon, target Oracle. Alright, so they're playing Book of Moon. That would make sense given the composition of their deck. Name phase 2. We make Arcanite, we pop, but then we lose to Fire Dog. Not in a good spot, really. I think the best play is to make Armor Master. And pass. This will deflect a lot of things from the opponent. Alright, another set card. That's fine. We will attack the Oracle with the Armor Master. Damage step. Shrink. Alright, that's okay. I'm going to declare the effect to place one wedge counter. Wedge counter. Nice. Wedge. Wedge is in the chat. That's based. Alright. Good thing we made Armor Master. The Shrink would have got us there for sure. I'm going to set the Gravekeeper Spy and pass. I can remove attack and defense becomes 0. We can turn that into a 0/0. Very effective strategy, I believe. Assailant, very strong. Very, very strong. All right, we can force through game here, right? We can do that. Let's flip the Spy, activate. Go get Descendant. We have no more Descendants. How many Descendant am I playing? 3? God damn it. All right, maybe we can't force through game here. Let's just grab Commandant. I'm going to declare the effect of Armor Master to remove the token to make it 0/0. And then I'm going to attack it again with Armor Master in case they have like Book Shrink or something. Looks like they do not. We'll go direct with the Spy. And we'll go direct with the Commandant, ideally for game. Nice. GG. Fuck yeah. That was actually really, really tense. That was a tricky one for sure. Light Imprisoning Mirror will stop the Chaos Endmaster. Is that worth considering? Maybe. I don't know. Skill Drain, interesting. Skill Drain, very interesting. Dust Tornado, also very interesting. And Book of Moon. All of these cards look appealing to me for one reason or another. Royal Tribute also looks pretty solid. Deck Dev looked good. Dust Shoot looked good. Most of our deck looked pretty good. I honestly don't think we need to side too much. I think just having the Book of Moons will be nice. So we have interaction through Decree. And then that's really it. Maybe Rite of Spirit is good because it gives us extra Descendant usage. I do want to side out some of these traps. I think Deck Dev is really good, but we're going to bring in the Royal Tribute instead. We're going second. I think Royal Tribute's a little bit better to have. It also helps us beat Honest faster. Thunder King Ryo can negate a Synchro Monster, so I might want to bring that in over one of these trap cards as well. Maybe Starlight Road. And then, yeah, it's just, do we want these dusts instead of, like, some of this other stuff? Probably, right? Probably instead of a right. Probably instead of a monster, maybe. We'll try a dust over a right. I'm not sure that's correct, but we'll try it. Just to be able to nail a blind Royal Decree or be able to chain to it would be nice. Not super likely that that's what's going to happen, but we'll try it. T-set. What did they mean by this? Commandant's pretty good. I'm going to upstart first. I think drawing Necro Valley is not the worst. Book of Moon, Book of Moon. Well, let's attack it with Sangan. What's the worst it could be? Ryko, maybe? Oh, that's annoying. I was not expecting that. Yeah. Definitely was not expecting that given their deck composition, but it's okay. We'll set some cards. Hopefully they don't have Heavy Storm. End Phase Decree would be annoying. Okay, no End Phase Decree. That's good. That's a good sign. All right, I'm out. We're not playing that one. Cool. Next game. Run it back. It's a good card. I mean, yeah. It's pretty good. Cut a right for a dust. And then I think I do want the deck devs going first. Some amounts. Royal Tribute as well. Maybe over... I don't know. I actually don't know. This is tricky. I definitely want these cards, but I don't know what I want to cut. Gale's too important. Sangan might be pretty bad. Chaos Master and Flamvell guy beat up on it. Doesn't attack over Rykos or anything. And then I'll just cut a book. Fuck it. That should be good enough. We have 5 ways to hit their hand turn 1. And 3 upstarts and a lure to find one of those 5 ways. Turn 1. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get much of a chance to do that. Dang. Alright. Well, normal this guy. Set a few D prisons. Pass turn. Heavy storm again. All right. Well, they got us. Not much we could have done about that, but like set less. Or save a deep prison. But they could just make Thought Ruler if they really wanted to. God, I hate this deck. This deck is so fucking bad. God damn. Alright, I'm going to see what we draw, and then I'm going to never play this deck ever again. That's funny. Alright. What can we do? We can Commandant for Necro Valley. And then we can set some cards. Maybe even set the Assailant. I think we might need to set the Assailant and pass. They might not attack into it. If they think it's a spy. They might, though. They might still attack. Looks like they're going to. We're going to book their Stardust on the attack. They won't be able to flip it because they attack this turn. We'll have a live Typhoon, and we need to rip a Steel or a Commandant or something to run over the Stardust, but we have some tools. Just not the best ones, of course. End phase will Typhoon. Of course, it's something fucking chainable. And now we just lose. Alright, GG's. 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 Oh, it's lagging too. Won't even let me admit. That's tough. GG's. GG's. Alright. That was a video. I'm ending it here. Fuck that shit. No bonus. Fuck Gravekeepers. I never want to play this fucking deck ever again. Peace.